Morning to my lovely students of class 6th. Welcome to another class of English. Today I am going to read and explain the last lesson of the book Honeysuckle, that is chapter number 10, The Banyan Tree, which is written by Ruskin Bond. So, my dear children, have you ever seen the fight between mongoose and cobra? Do you know the mongooses are well known for their ugly teeth to fight and kill venomous snakes, particular cobras. The mongoose is not immune to the venomous bite but is faster and quicker in motion than the snake. The cobra assumes a posture of defense and attempts to reach the animal by a sweeping strike, but the quick mongoose jumps out of reach and comes at the snake from another direction before the snake can get into striking position again. This constant movement tires and discourages the snake, and the mongoose is finally able to leap in close and bury its teeth in the snake's neck, usually severing the joints of its vertebrae. Part 1. Though the house and grounds belongs to my grandparents, the magnificent, that is extremely beautiful old banyan tree was mine, chiefly because grandfather at 65 could no longer climb it. Its spreading branches, which hung to the ground and took root again, forming a number of twisting passages, gave me endless pleasure. Among them were squirrels and snails and butterflies. The tree was older than the house, older than grandfather, as old as Dehradun itself. I could hide myself in its branches, behind thick green leaves, and spy on the world below. My first friend was a small grey squirrel, arching his back and sniffing into the air. He seemed at first to resent my invasion of his privacy, but when he found that I did not arm myself with catapult or air gun, he became friendly, and when I started bringing him pieces of cake and biscuit, he grew quite bold and was soon taking morsels from hand. Before long, he was delving into my pockets and helping himself to whatever he could find. He was a very young squirrel, and his friends and relatives probably thought him foolish and headstrong for trusting a human. In the spring, when the banyan tree was full of small red figs, birds of all kinds would flock into its branches. The red-bottomed bulbul, cheerful and greedy, parrots, myna, and crows squabbling with one another. During the fig season, the banyan tree was the noisiest place in the garden. Halfway up the tree, I had built a crude platform where I would spend the afternoons. When it was not too hot, I could read there propping. Propping means leaning against myself up against the tree with a cushion from the living room, Treasure Island, Huckleberry Finn, and the story of Dr. Dolittle were some of the books that made up my banyan tree library. When I did not feel like reading, I could look down through the leaves at the world below. And on one particular afternoon, I had a grandstand view, means a clear view, of that classic of the Indian wilds, a fight between a mongoose and a cobra. Part 2. The warm breezes of approaching means coming nearer summer had sent everyone, including the gardener, into the house. I was feeling drowsy, means sleepy, myself, wondering if I should go to the pond and have a swim with Ramu and the buffaloes. When I saw a huge black cobra gliding out of a clump of cactus. At the same time, a mongoose emerged from the bushes and went straight for the cobra. In a clearing beneath the banyan tree, in bright sunshine, they came face to face. The cobra knew only too well that the grey mongoose, 3 feet long, was a superb fighter, clever and aggressive, means ready to fight. But the cobra too was a skillful and experienced fighter. He could move swiftly and strike with the speed of light. And the sacs. Sacs means a part of an animal or plant. Behind his long, sharp fangs. Fangs means long, sharp teeth of a snake or a dog were full of deadly poison. It was to be a battle of champions. Sing defiance means the willingness, his forked tongue darting in and out means moving quickly in and out. The cobra raised 3 of his 6 feet off the ground and spread his broad, spectacled hood. The mongoose pushed his tail. The long hair on his spine stood up. So Cobra raised himself from the ground and spread his hood to fight and attack the mongoose. Though the combatants were unaware of my presence in the tree, they were soon made aware of the arrival of 2 other spectators. One was a manna, the other a jungle crow. They had seen these preparations for battle and had settled on the cactus to watch the outcome. Had they been content only to watch, all would have been well with both of them. So the 2 spectators, that is Manna and the jungle crow, witnessed everything and was settled on the cactus to watch the result. The cobra stood on the defensive. Swaying means moving slowly from side to side. Trying to mesmerize means holding someone's attention, the mongoose, into making a false move. But the mongoose knew the power of his opponent's glassy, unwinking means watchful eyes and refused to meet them. Instead, he fixed his gaze, means looking fixed at a point just below the cobra's hood and opened the attack. Moving forward quickly until he was just within the cobra's reach, the mongoose made a pretended move to one side. Immediately, the cobra struck. His great hood came down so swiftly that I thought nothing could save the mongoose. But the little fellow jumped neatly to one side and darted in as swiftly as the cobra, biting the snake on the back and darting away again out of reach. So the small creature, that is the mongoose, was quick to jump and move one side. It also bit the snake on its back and again move away quickly. At the same moment that the cobra struck, the crow and the manna hurled themselves at him, only to collide, means clash heavily in midair. shrieking insults at each other. They returned to the cactus plant. A few drops of blood glistened. Glisten means shone on the cobra's back. The cobra struck and missed. Again the mongoose sprang aside, jumped in and bit. Again the birds dived at the snake, bumped into each other instead, and returned shrieking to the safety of the cactus. The third round followed the same course as the first, but with one dramatic difference. The crow and the manna, still determined to take part in the proceedings, died at the cobra, but this time they missed each other as well as their mark. The manna flew on and reached its perch, means resting place. But the cobra tried to pull up in midair and turn back. In the second that it took the bird to do this, the cobra wiped his head back and struck with great force, means moved back suddenly, his snout thudding against the crow's body. I saw the bird flung nearly 20 feet across the garden. It fluttered about for a while, means flapping wings quickly, then lay still, means it was dead. The manna remained on the cactus plant. So the manna decided to remain in cactus plant. And when the snake and the mongoose returned to fight, very wisely decided not to interfere again. The cobra was weakening and the mongoose, walking fearlessly up to it, raised himself on its short legs and with a lightning snap, means speed, had the big snake by the snout. The cobra writhed and lashed about in a frightening manner and even coiled, means rolled around itself about the mongoose, but to no avail. The little fellow, that is the mongoose, hung grimly on until the snake had ceased to struggle. He then smelt along its quivering length, gripped, means grasped it round the hood and dragged it into the bushes. The manna dropped cautiously to the ground, hopped about, peered into the bushes from a safe distance, and then, with a shrill, means high pitched sound, cry of congratulations flew away. Now, these are the question answers, that is, part B. Answer the following question. Question number 1, 2. Please note down in your English notebooks very neatly. So, this was all for today. We'll meet in our next video. Till then, goodbye. Thank you all. God bless you all.